guys, it's your girl Sierra. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to get oddly specific. So let's get into these book recommendations. That you can keep in mind, I have the notes over here. So that's what I'm looking over here. If you're looking for a book that's like skeletons in the closet type of thing, I highly suggest Lisa Jewell, The Family Upstairs. This story follows Libby, who just turned 25 years old, and she actually gets a letter in the mail that she finally gets to understand who she is and where she comes from. And in the letter, she finds out she inherited a mansion. And going to the mansion and trying to figure out the story of her life there, there are a lot of skeletons that come out, not just out of a closet, but also maybe a kitchen floor. Lisa Jewell, The Family Upstairs. All right, for my girlies who are into true crime, but specifically Criminal Minds, so not technically true crime, but still, for my Criminal Mind girlies, I have just the book for you. That is The Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. This story follows three sisters. They're technically sisters because they were all taken in by a foster mother, Miss Fairchild. So this is Jessica, was it Nora? I can't remember. Jessica, Nora, and Alicia. They were all taken in by Miss Fairchild, and they've had an interesting upbringing, not the most positive thing. And now, decades later, they're in their 20s roughly, they're young adults or adults. It's not really specified their age at this point. But anyway, they actually come back to not necessarily where they grew up, but back in the mindset and reliving their upbringing, because the police found a body on the land, on the property that they lived on. So now they're recounting their childhood, all the events that happened when they were kids. This is literally, I would say, a Criminal Minds episode. So I highly recommend it. Check it out. The Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. I was about to say Sally. Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's say you're going through a midlife crisis, or you know someone who's going through a midlife crisis. Everyone's midlife crisis looks different, but these women's midlife crisis looks drastically different. And that is the book, The Change by Kirsten Miller. This book follows three women who have completely different lives. So we have, what was the first one? We have Nessa. Nessa's daughters are off to college. She is a widower, so now she's experiencing living alone in her 40s. And here's the thing though, now that the girls are gone, she actually is sitting in silence. But it's not just silence, she actually can hear the voices of the dead. Yep, power she inherited from her grandmother. That's her journey so far. Then we have, what's her name? Harriet. Harriet is in a whirlwind of a life as it implodes with her career and her marriage. And she becomes somewhat of a recluse. She's inside her house for months. No one sees her, but she's been tending to a garden. And she kind of has some magical powers when it comes to working on this garden. Like literally her house is like covered in ivies, and no one really knows what the hell has happened to Harriet. Like no one knows anything about her, not even Nessa, because they all live in the same town. So Harriet's experiencing some magic with plants. And then you have the last one, which is Jo. Jo is going through menopause, and through menopause, she is experiencing such extreme pain, but somehow with that pain, she's able to harness that pain and use it as her powers. Weird, right? You're like, oh, okay, interesting. So all three women, they actually come together to investigate a teen body that washes up on the shore of their beach town. The police are like, whatever, moving on. They're like, nah, something's weird about this. And then as they delve more into the case of the teenager, more bodies pop up. And so the story just really follows them investigating what the hell is happening in their town. So check it out, The Change by Kirsten Miller. The next book on this list is essentially one of the most popular shows, I would say, but just with the twist that it's in Punjab, India, and it's also not in this time period. But that book is China Room by Sunji Sahota. This book is very interesting. I will label this as like Love is Blind. Truly, love is actually blind. It follows our main character, Mahar, who is a young bride, and she is now living on the property of her husband, their brothers, 2 other women, and their mother. Here's the thing though, especially in this time period, I think it's like in, I cannot even recall, 1930s, there we go, 1929 is when she gets married, so like early 1930s. They're not allowed to see their husbands, so she's never seen her actual husband. Their faces are constantly covered whenever they're outside of the house, when they're around the husbands, but when they're in the room, which is a room behind the china cabinet, they are uncovered, but they don't know who their husbands are. So Mahar is really trying to figure out who is her husband, because love is truly blind. There's some mess up in here. It gets very interesting very fast. For a second though, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Is this what I think it is? Like truly, love is blind, but also it's very interesting. There's some mess in here. You're like, huh, didn't expect that. Nothing to be like harm. There's like no like abuse or neglect or anything like that. It's not extremely heavy, but it is a very important story, I would say. And the twist through the story, it had me laughing because I was just like, I did not expect that. That was hilarious. So, China Room by Sunji Sahota. Anyway, last one. If you like Lifetime movies, like me, you probably don't. If you don't, I don't know. I don't know about our friendship, because I need someone who loves Lifetime movies. I love the mess of it, the predictability, the semi-decent acting. At the beginning it was really bad, but like nowadays the acting is pretty decent. So if you like Lifetime movies or anything in that realm of just like a mystery thriller type of thing, it could be like an indie movie or indie show that you're watching on a different platform that no one really knows about, I'm going to recommend you The Ivies by Alexa Dunn. So, oh Lord, this story follows a group of teenagers who all get into Ivy League schools. Here's the thing though. One of the students gets into an Ivy League school along with another student, but then that student dies. So someone is going around killing Ivy League students. That's just the gist I'm gonna tell you. It's a really good book. I highly recommend it. I read this like, what was it, like 3 years ago? I love Alexa Dunn's work. Her videos are so insightful over here on YouTube, but I highly recommend it. If you just like a good slasher, thriller, mystery, if you just like any of the like Lifetime movies, like I think it was like some sorority sisters movies, or just any of the movies really when it involves mainly the teenagers, this is definitely a book I would say categorizes as like a Lifetime movie in the best way possible. I know some people say like Lifetime movies are terrible, but I truly love them. So I'm gonna put this one in the category. Put it up closer so you can see it. All the oddly specific book recommendations that I have for you are, if you like this video, be sure to like this video, comment in a book that is oddly specific that you want to read, or maybe one of these books are interesting to you. Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, stay magical. Bye.